Okay, it's gone actually. No, he's still there. Actually, ठीक है, I talk loudly anyway. देर आए दुरुस्त आए. You know, after being 32 years in the industry, that ultimately your work is recognized. More so when I received the award and I was walking back, and just to see the beaming faces and the pride on my children and my husband's face made every step towards the podium worth it. For example, how many people would know that I left a song like Chaiyya Chaiyya? You know, there are times when I fly and there are these pranam services at the airport and all. So many of the girls I meet and they say, "Ma'am, did you recognize me?" And I say, "No." They say, "We are from the Mud Island Orphanage." And they meet me and they hug me and they say, "You remember you took us for a movie, you took us out and you did this for us and that." And that I feel such a sense of achievement and pride.
As a mother, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Does it worry you as a parent?
If they have that in their bloodstream, if they have talent and if they have art in their bloodstream, I'm not going to tell her, no, sorry, you cannot live your dreams, you have to go become a NASA scientist. ऐसे अगर करने चाहे तो हमारे आधे politicians को resign कर देना चाहिए. Maximum, what do? You make one film for them, ना? Audience तुम हो, जो लिख के लाए हैं वो लिख के लाए हैं. यहाँ पैदा होना था, उनको film industry में पैदा हुए film industry में, उनकी choice नहीं थी.
No one can control that.
Exactly, ये नहीं कि हमारे बच्चे पैदा हो, हम लात मार के निकाले नहीं, तुम हमारे film industry में क्यों पैदा हुए?
It was about 3 years ago that I spoke to my next guest for the first time. And since then, she has been the kindest to me. Every time I have messaged her, she has always replied to me. And I didn't think that it would take me 3 years to talk to her again. But it is most opportune because I'm talking to her as we celebrate her recent honor that she has been bestowed with, the Padma Shri. And I think it was well deserved and well overdue as well. So please join me as I welcome the amazing Raveena Tandon only on Bollywood Bubble. So firstly, Raveena ma'am, welcome to Bollywood Bubble.
Thank you so much, Akash.
I have to say, you have been the first person, the first big star that I had spoken to in my career. And you will always remain special to me because of that and because you have always been so kind to me. Firstly, a big congratulations on your Padma Shri.
Thank you.
As I said, it was long overdue and it was very well deserved. Firstly, how does it feel to get this civilian honor? Because recognition for your work comes with the film awards as well. But this is something that takes it to a grander scale, take it to a larger scale because it's about your contribution to the nation as well. So firstly, how does it feel to be bestowed with such an honor?
Well, I think it was, like you said, the reaction that I've been getting mostly has been that was long overdue. But there I durust hai, and I think everything happens on a right time. So for me, yes, it was the right time. And with performances in KGF and Aranyak also, it was like a Sone Pe Suhaga. And this year has been a year of awards. I won everything for KGF too and for Aranyak. So it's been a great year of awards, and I'm very, very thankful and grateful that, you know, after being 32 years in the industry, that ultimately your work is recognized. Your work, your contribution to society is recognized. And I think that is something that is really rewarding, and more so when I received the award and I was walking back, and just to see the beaming faces and the pride on my children and my husband's face made every step towards the podium worth it. Absolutely.
And Rasha's note just made it all the more clear when she spoke about you.
But, she really, that was very emotional. I called her up and I started crying. She's saying, "Oh God, relax, mom."
But as you said, now the 32 years in the industry, it's a long time, and you have been very poignant at each and every phase that the industry has gone through in this time. So to maintain that relevancy, to maintain a stature of yourself while not compromising on your work ethics or any kind of the kind of projects you want to take, how difficult has it been to kind of maintain that through these 32 years?
Well, I think for me it was more about quality than quantity. I don't want har Friday mein, you know, that kind of visibility is there and stuff, but whenever I do or I choose to do a role or I choose to do a character or a film, it has to be very worth it. And I think that's what happened with me. Even before I signed on Aranyak on OTT on Netflix, I was offered a lot of shows and very relevant, and some went on to become very big hits as well. But somehow it didn't kind of hit me somewhere. And if you see, mostly all my projects that I've been taking in the last years, whether it was starting from Daman and Satta to Matra and Jago and doing very, very relevant work as far as women empowerment is concerned. I've been choosing my scripts like that. And when Aranya came along, it also mattered to me because it dealt about women's issues in a way how women have to learn to, they're expected only to manage their entire households and not focus so much on their careers, even though they're excelling in their careers, but they're expected to sacrifice that and actually only look after their households and the entire ghar grihasti scenario. So for me that was very very important क्योंकि जब मैं गाड़ी में जाती हूँ या मैं एयरपोर्ट पे ट्रैवल करती हूँ, I see the women in uniform and I see our women police officers and I see our women traffic controlling traffic. I feel इनकी क्या लाइफ होती होगी, पूरा दिन धूप में खड़े होके ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल कर रही हैं, गर्मियाँ हो रही हैं, बारिशें हो रही हैं और वो हैं पूरा दिन, फिर घर जाती हैं, फिर अपने हस्बैंड्स को देखती हैं, अपने बच्चों को देखती हैं, उनके कपड़े धोती हैं, खाना बनाती हैं, सुबह का स्कूल का डब्बा नाश्ता तैयार करती हैं और फिर अपनी ड्यूटी पे आती हैं, चाहे वो बीएमसी में काम कर रही हो, चाहे वो ऑफिस में काम कर रही हो, चाहे कहीं भी काम कर रही हो. एवरीवनस नॉट लकी कि उनके घर में स्टाफ हो हेल्प के लिए या डोमेस्टिक हेल्प हो. कुछ तो औरतें सब अपना ही घर गृहस्थी अपने हाथों से संभालती हैं. So for me, Aranyak really touched me because it dealt with Kasturi Dogra, whose life dealt with these issues and dealt with these problems. कि उसके जो मेल कलीग्स हैं उनको और कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, बस अपना करियर संभालना, और ये पीछे रह जाती है क्योंकि उसको सब देखना पड़ता है. तो it's a thing that is very very crucial for families to understand around their women, that they have to lend a helping hand to their women so that they can also achieve and complete their dreams.
True. And I'm very glad you mentioned Daman and Aks in the starting, because I was going to ask you this, that you chose to delve into what we used to call artsy cinema at a time when you were at the peak of your commercial career.
Ji.
And today it's a very explorative industry. People accept projects coming from all corners. At that time it wasn't the case.
No, it wasn't. It was very tough. You would have gotten stereotyped whether it was Ghulam-e-Mustafa or Shul or... Yeah.
But you broke that barrier. You chose to listen to yourself and do projects at you. But I'm sure there would have been noises around that would have persuaded you or tried to tell you that don't do this, just stick to the commercial genre, it would work well for you. How was it kind of dealing with that and kind of overcoming that and still maintaining your stand? Because at that time, the support wasn't as much there from everyone around.
That's right. It was in those days, it was very easy to get stereotyped. For example, how many people would know that I left a song like Chaiyya Chaiyya because I'd just done Sher Ki Ladki, and after that I started getting offered only item songs. And then it became a norm that if Raveena has to be there has to be a super hit song. And which I'm very grateful for, because till date, people also know me for all my super hit songs. All of them are getting remixed, they're getting a new life, and it's all working out very well. So I think it's really, really great that, whatever work I've got at whatever period of time, it has kind of panned out beautifully for me. People remember my work in Shul, in Satta, in Daman. Daman today is still relevant. I mean, we spoke about marital violence and domestic abuse right in 2000. And till today, 23 years later, it is still so relevant that the case is still being fought in Supreme Court. It's still in the courts, that the judgment still hasn't been passed whether marital rape and domestic violence should be recognized as marital rape or not.
Yeah, and the concept is still so relevant because, see, last year Darlings came.
Yes.
And that kind of also dealt with the same issue.
Yes.
So,
and we did it in 99. We shot in 99, where films like Mera Pati Mera Devta Hai, Bhala Hai, Bura Hai, Jo Bhi Hai, Peeta Bhi Hai, but Mera Pati Mera Devta were being made. And we did this breakthrough film which dealt with, and then of course, we well-deservedly got the national award for that. So that was something that was much, much before its time.
But I also have to say, like, today we talk about women having breaking the barriers of there's no relevance issues, longevity problems. But I feel like it was the 90s batch of actresses that started it, that have actually maintained that, because before that also we have seen actresses do that. But there were one or two cases.
The only difference was at that time it took us like 25 films down the line to do something like that. Over here they do it in their 5th or 6th film.
Yes.
So they're lucky enough to get that kind of exploratory, varied
phase
cinema. Yeah.
But you all have, this batch of 90s actresses have actually broken that, because you guys have started taking charge on OTT in films. Like, you are doing so many projects now. There is Shukla. Patna Shukla, then
Yes.
there is Gurchadi also you are doing,
Yes.
then KGF Chapter 3, I'm sure that's gonna be happening soon.
Yes.
Then Aranyak Season 2, I'm hoping is
Yes.
happening. So there's a lot that you are also doing to be in that phase, to be like a pioneer of something, because there have been actresses before, but this as a whole batch, you guys have started it. There is no issue of longevity. Whenever you want, because of your talent, you can succeed. To be a pioneer
I'm
of that
hoping
thought
that is the
process,
case. Yes, that because
that
of our
is.
talent, that we're still kind of around.
Yes. Does it instill a sense of pride to be torchbearer of that? Because it kind of inspires a lot of actresses coming now also to see that there is what people used to say about the issues of longevity, they do no longer persist. Does it feel?
So I think you're absolutely right. That I think it's very, very important. I think if you're talented, hardworking,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to have a long spell. I think those days of when they used to say that actresses have a short shelf life is kind of over. So it's something that you choose. And like I said, I've been choosing quality over quantity. So even if I take my time, I might do one thing in a year, or I might do one thing in 2 years. But I will do something that is very relevant and something that I believe in.
Yeah, and I have to say, like Raveena ma'am, you have been an icon not just on screen but off screen as well. You chose to embrace motherhood at a time when you were not married. You were just still so young in the industry, and it was not a conventional choice. At that time, to take that decision in your personal life, how was that? Because
Well, at that time, adoption was not even allowed. Single mothers adopting was not legally allowed. So I
Yeah.
became my children's guardian. I had both the girls with me. And I had both the girls with me, and we kind of just the only option way out at that time was to take legal guardianship, and which I did. And I'm very grateful so, because I think I find more than anything else, I find these my achievements when I see my girls. So my sense of achievements, basically what I see when people ask me, okay, what do you think are your achievements? I think when it's a complete sense of gratification. Like for example, during Delhi COVID time, when there were no oxygen and people were dying of lack of oxygen, sending truckloads from here, sending it and getting it to the poor free of cost was an achievement for me and my foundation. That was something that we loved doing. From Barkha to everyone tweeted about it. It was all over, and it was something that was necessary for people to know of, so that we could provide them. And that's what happened at that time. Now that is a sense of achievement that I feel when I see my two girls grown up, successful in their lives, in their careers, in their marriages, with their children. I feel a sense of pride when I see the orphanage that I built in Vasai for those 30 girls thriving, and they increasing their dormitories, and girls batches moving out from there, growing up, getting into jobs. That gives me pride. I'm still in touch with so many. When I, there are times when I fly and there are these pranam services at the airport and all. So many of the girls I meet, and they say, "Ma'am, did you recognize me?" And I say, "No." They say, "We are from the Mud Island orphanage." And they meet me and they hug me and they say, "You remember, you took us for a movie, you took us out, and you did this for us and that." And that I feel such a sense of achievement and pride. And I'm happy that God has given me that much that I can give back to society in a way.
I'm not lying. The passion with which you said all this, it has given me goosebumps, because it's actually great what you have done. And the greatest thing about it is you don't promote it out there, because
I don't
it's not
believe in
something.
hype. I don't have a cameraman following me or taking pictures and I'm putting it out and all. No, I think that, when I'm doing something, I'm not doing it. Yes, there are some causes, like people say, you must talk more about the adoption and all, so that more people get encouraged about that. Yes, so when people ask me in my interviews and all, I do tell them. But on my own, yes, I do. I'm an ambassador for so many social causes. So when that I promote, yes, I promote. But what I do on my personal level and the kind of work that I do, I don't make it into big articles or anything for people to kind of read and see. I don't believe in that, because I'm doing it for my personal happiness and my personal satisfaction, and I'm doing it to make a change in someone's life. I'm not doing it as a PR tag, and I've been doing it since 90s. You open the magazines or open anything, in my interviews earlier. In fact, now CSR activity has become such a big thing. In those days, whenever people used to come to me for a photo shoot or something, I used to say, I'll do your photo shoot if it's for a big company, but tell that company to sponsor. Like, for example, West Side. I remember we had a Christmas shoot in West Side. I had taken my entire batch of 20 orphanage kids from Mud Island to West Side under the Christmas tree. We clicked pictures with them. Jayesh Sheth still has all those pictures. And I told them, y'all give them presents, give them a great meal, and then I'll do your photo shoot. So I started doing these things from the 90s.
That's why I said you have been an icon off screen as well. And also, like, you dedicated your Padma Shri to your father. And I
Yes.
have to say, like, Ravi sir has been a legend. Has it been uh, has it been okay dealing with that grief, or is it still something you're still processing?
Well, it is. I think I processed it, and it's fine. But he will always be a part of me, and I will always be him.
Yeah.
In fact, my career and my dad's career is pretty much similar, because he also did a variety of films, from comedy to films like Zindagi, which Bagban was made a remake of with Sanjeev Kumar and Mala Sinha ji, and Khel Khel Mein and Khuddar, and he also had a complete mix of movies, and I also like to keep my career that way.
But just like you took your father's legacy forward, now Rasha is all set to take your legacy forward.
I'm hoping.
So I saw her photo shoot. She's glowing and beaming with the same charm that you always had, and you still do. When you see her taking these strides, as a mother, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Because when you debuted, there was no thing as people being scrutinized for being from the industry, but today they are. Does it worry you as a parent?
No, not at all. Because I mean, I think our kids will obviously learn what they see, and if they have that in their bloodstream, if they have talent, and if they have art in their bloodstream, I'm not going to tell her, no, sorry, you cannot live your dreams. You have to go become a NASA scientist.
Yeah.
I can't tell her that, right?
Yeah.
Children have to follow their dreams and what they want to do. And of course, I think that has always been the norm. ऐसे अगर करने चाहे तो हमारे आधे politicians को resign कर देना चाहिए, because every politician has his son in politics, or his daughter-in-law in politics, or son in politics, and that's how it's been. Every big industrialist has their children taking over there. They can't say, no, you can't take over my company. तुम मेरे बेटे हो, तुम कहीं और तुम डॉक्टर बनो. मैंने ये पूरा एम्पायर बनाया है, उसको भाड़ में जाने दो, तुम जाके डॉक्टर बनो. ऐसे तो हो नहीं सकता ना. So then everyone has to give up. So why is only the film industry cornered? And in fact, the film industry is so brutal for our kids, and there's in fact so much more pressure because of the fact that if they have no talent and if they have nothing, maximum, what do? You'll make one film for them. Na? Audience तुम हो, तुमको नहीं देखना है मत देखो यार.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is that kind of a thing, that audience is king.
Yeah.
Audience will tell you whether you are worth being here or not.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So that is how it works. Then a lot of our other filmy kids whom I don't want to name would have been superstars today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. So because they have to go through much more pressure.
Yeah.
Because they have to live up to a certain expectation also.
True.
So it's in fact even more tougher for them.
Exactly. I completely agree with that.
I agree. Yes, the struggle might not be, because today you'll know her as my daughter.
Yeah.
But then the same thing probably in a hospital. If a top surgeon's son is a doctor, everyone already knows him by name.
Yeah.
So if he goes somewhere for a job, he'll already say, yes, you'll know my dad and I'm so and so. You can't change the surname, right?
True.
So it happens everywhere. But only the film industry is singled out because of lots of jealous people.
True. And
but then you can't take away somebody's kismat from them.
Yeah.
जो लिख के लाए हैं वो लिख के लाए हैं.
No one
यहाँ पैदा
can
होना था,
control
उनको
where
फिल्म
they are
इंडस्ट्री
born.
में पैदा हुए, फिल्म
Yeah.
इंडस्ट्री में उनकी चॉइस नहीं थी.
No one can control that.
Exactly.
Where
ये
you
नहीं
are
कि
born.
हमारे बच्चे पैदा हुए, हम
Yeah.
लात मार के निकाल दे, नहीं तुम हमारे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में क्यों पैदा हुए, तुम तो डॉक्टर ही बनो,
Yeah.
तुम ये कर ही नहीं सकते हो. ऐसे तो हो नहीं सकता ना.
And I completely agree. The pressure of expectations is much
Is
more
much
on
more
them. Much
on them.
more on them, because they have already been scrutinized
Correct.
a lot.
Correct.
But I have to say, Raveena ma'am, like, you exude a charm that is unmatched by any. I'm always awestruck whenever
Thank you so
have
much.
spoken to you. Even
Thank
on
you so
text, your charm comes out. I don't know how, but that is
You are
always
just very
there.
kind-hearted. That's it.
Because you are a person like that, you kind of take it out of from me as well.
Thank you.
But
Thanks,
thank you
Raj.
so much for
Thank
giving me this. I mean, a big
You're
congratulations again,
Thank
Padma
you.
Shri.
That's
And
so
I'm
sweet
sure
of you.
more awards are gonna come in the recent near future. But
So
thank you
sweet
so
of
much for this
Thank
opportunity. Can't wait to have this opportunity again.
Yeah,
We
let's
will
meet
talk
again soon.
sooner.
Done.
Yeah. But
Done.
thank you so much.
Done deal.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar, this is Raveena Tandon and you are watching me on Bollywood Bubble. Please share, like and subscribe.